This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll on this Tuesday morning. Sun's out. Beautiful day to get outside. We'll have plenty of spring activities. Bison baseball team plays University of Minnesota coming up later tonight. We mentioned, of course, the big news over the weekend locally. The NFL draft wrapped up. North Dakota State had, they had 3 draft picks this weekend. Gray Zabel went in the first round. Marquis Siegel goes in the 5th round. And our next guest, of course, drafted in the 6th round by the Las Vegas Raiders. Now I can say former North Dakota State quarterback Cam Miller, who's now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, joins us this morning. How does that sound when I say that?
It still really hasn't hit me yet, but it sounds pretty good to me. Las Vegas was up there on my list going into Saturday, and I had a pretty good feeling about them. And to finally hear my name get called late in the 6th round was unbelievable.
So give us the lowdown Saturday. What you're at home. I mean, how many people are around you? And then when the phone starts ringing, you tell everybody to be quiet. Give us the backstory on that.
Yeah, so my parents invited some family and friends over. We had a little more than like 50, 60 people there. I wanted to have like a small gathering, just like 10 people, but my parents wanted to make a big deal out of it. So I was okay with that, I guess. But yeah, we just waited around. I kind of just talked to everybody for, during the 4th and 5th round. And then once the 6th round hit, I'm like, okay, I need to lock in a little bit and start, paying attention to my phone and watching the screen and everything. So, yeah, I was sitting down. My parents weren't really by me. And, Las Vegas had a pick, and then I think it went the Chargers, then Vegas, and then the Broncos. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a little sweet spot right here that I could get picked. And everybody freaked out when Tommy Malot got picked. Everybody was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I remember my uncle Mark had mentioned something. What if they take Cam with their 2nd pick? That would make a lot of sense. So sure enough, Tommy's name gets called. Like 10 seconds after that, I get a phone call and I answered it immediately. So everybody's still talking and it's still loud. So my dad's telling everybody to be quiet. And the only thing I really remember from the phone call was the GM was like, who's the person trying to quiet everybody? I'm like, that's my dad. I'm sorry. Like he's trying to get everybody to, pay attention and, quiet down. So, and then afterwards, yeah, it was a celebration for sure.
What do you remember? Anything that John Spytek, the GM, said to you on the phone, or is that a blur?
It was kind of a blur. Like I sort of blacked out. Everything just, yeah, I just knew that they were going to pick me. And yeah, my mind was obviously focused on that. But it was just truly a dream come true. It's everything that you worked for since you were, a 1st grader. So
you see, Cam, the different video shots when guys get off the phone and hug. Tell me what that moment was like after getting off the phone.
Yeah, first found my dad and my mom, 2 people that have been in my corner since day one. And I know it meant a lot to my dad. I know he was a lot more nervous than I was throughout the day. So to see just relief in his eyes and just a weight off his shoulders, because I know how much it means to him because he cares a lot about me. So everybody was pretty emotional, even my high school friends. They know how hard I worked for that opportunity and that moment, and it was really special.
So that happens. You're hugging everybody. I mean, then you got to do some media. I mean, when did you actually get a chance to sit and say, okay, the thing I worked for the hardest came true? Has that happened even yet?
I think it was more of like Sunday when I got to kick my feet up a little bit and just be around my parents. Yeah, it was probably like late in the evening on Sunday. It started to hit me, but my phone was blowing up and I was trying to answer as many phone calls as I could, but trying to enjoy the moment. It's such a a weird 3-hour time period. So, but yeah.
Did you hear from Coach Polasek on Saturday, and what was that conversation like?
He tried, I think he tried to stay out of it for a little bit. He tried calling me yesterday. I didn't pick up. So we've been playing phone
Okay.
tag, but, I know it meant a lot to him too. I talked to Coach Hedberg. He was the first person I talked to after I got drafted, and can't thank him enough for putting me in this position. And I think his resume speaks for itself. Now you have 4 quarterbacks drafted in the last 10 years. I don't know if there's a position coach in college football
Mm.
that's had that. So extremely grateful for him. And yeah, talk to my agent, talk to some of their coaches as well.
So get us back through the pre-draft process on the Raiders, because I know we had talked about it. I know Tony Raciopia, your QB coach, mentioned on the show that the Raiders were involved. What do you, and it made him go back to the Shrine game. What do you remember your first interactions with them, and how much did you talk to them leading up this whole process?
It really started at the East West Shrine game. It
Mm.
was the first time I talked to their area scout. And um, during that process, you're talking to so many teams, so you kind of forget how that conversation went. Um, but it was like a week maybe after pro day when I was in Fargo still. I got a call from my agent saying that he had just spoke with the GM of the Raiders and they wanted to bring me out for a 30 visit. So that's where I kind of knew that they had interest in me. So when I jumped on a Zoom maybe a week after that, before I went out there, I got to meet with their coaches and I could just tell that they were interested and, you know, intrigued about the player that I am, the system that I came from. And then when I was out there in Vegas 2 weeks ago, um, everything went really well. But I do think out of all the interviews that I've had with teams, I think I perform my worst with the Raiders, which is surprising. Like I got on the Zoom and afterwards I'm like, that just wasn't my best.
Mm.
And I was thinking to myself, hopefully I didn't blow it. And sure enough, that's the team that ended up drafting me. Um, but yeah, wild process for sure.
So when you went out there, do you meet with Pete Carroll? Like, who can you give us a behind the curtain of who you met with?
Yeah, I briefly talked to Pete and then I met with the GM for 15, 20 minutes. And he, the only thing that he showed me in our meeting, we got to know each other and it was very like, a comfortable conversation. And then he's like, I got some film for us to watch. So I'm expecting us to watch like 10, 15 clips. The only clip that he showed was the long touchdown run in the Montana State game. And he's like, talk me through this play. He's like, this is insane. And I'm like, it was just the perfect look and we just executed it perfectly. And then um, sat in with their quarterback coach as well. Didn't get to talk to Chip Kelly too much, but um, briefly got to meet him.
The Raiders QB scenario right now, Geno Smith, Aiden O'Connell, and yourself. I mean, when on the outside, not knowing anything about it, Cam, this seems like maybe a dream scenario for a team for you to go to make a roster, knowing what their QB room is right now.
Right. I think going into it, yeah, the Raiders were definitely in my top 3 when it came to best fit for me. And obviously, you have a veteran that's played in the league for 10 years, somebody that you can learn from. Aiden O'Connell has experience as well, somebody that you can compete with and learn from. And I just think it's an ideal scenario where you still have to compete, but you're also learning information, learning the playbook, and seeing how those guys operate.
Obviously, the big story, and I know the Vegas media asked you about this on Saturday, was the guy who was picked 2 picks before you. When I know your phone rang pretty soon after Tommy got drafted, did you have an immediate reaction like, seriously?
Well, I had seen that it popped up as a receiver, and I'm like, okay, obviously that makes sense since he ran a 4.39 or 4.37, something
Correct.
like that. And he's a tremendous athlete. And um, for me, I was excited for him. And I know I had mentioned to you after the ceremony that there wasn't another player in the country that I wanted to win that award outside of myself. So um, that's a testament to him and the hard work that he's put in, and I can't wait to be his teammate.
The fact you guys have been linked together since that first title game, I mean, this seems wild, Cam, that you guys are still now you're gonna be teammates.
I know, I know. I'm super excited. We've been texting the last few days, and he's excited to get to work. And you're not enemies in college, but you're rivals in college. And then now we're gonna have to be best friends since he's a receiver and I play quarterback. So we'll be spending a lot of time together.
Well, if anything, he can move. I mean, you've seen
Yeah,
that. I mean, he's got great. Obviously, the 40 times speaks for itself. I am interested about his hands. That's something you're going
yeah,
to find out, right?
right. Absolutely. I just think he's a tremendous athlete. He'll be able to do anything that they ask him to do.
The Raiders, the director of college scouting, he said Saturday that you were on the radar about a year ago. What does that mean? That they were starting this time, 2023, that they were starting to do their homework on you. Did you get any sense of that through the pre-draft process? They had been following you for a bit.
Not really. I don't know if they don't like release that information about how long they've been following you, but I would just say in the last month is really when things started to pick up with them.
So what's next now for people that don't know? What's on the calendar, and when do you head to Vegas?
I head out there on May 8th in the morning, and then we start stuff in the afternoon, and then rookie mini camp, and then we're diving into it. But got the playbook today, so I'm excited to dive into that for hours upon hours.
I was going to say, so you got that. Just describe. Okay, here it is. My first professional playbook. What was that emotion like?
Just a fresh start. I just remember when I first opened up NDSU's playbook, and you're just like, wow, this is a lot. How am I going to learn this in a short amount of time? Uh, but thankfully, I have a week before I get out there, and I'm going to dive into that and, reach out to the coaches if there's questions, and really, really looking forward to it.
I think Cam, of you mentioned earlier about Coach Hedberg about having 4 straight drafted quarterbacks. You would maybe fall into the movie most unlikely at the start of that. How personally satisfying is it that you fulfilled a goal that you had set for yourself when you were a young man?
I think, yeah, for me, my mom had sent something before my pro day, and there was a little sheet that she had found in this office from when I was in second grade, and it was just this piece of paper, and I had to fill out this sentence, and it said, "What do you want to do when you're older?" And I said, "Be an NFL football player." And I drew a picture of, I think it was Peyton Manning, and she had sent me that, and I just really, reflected on um, how bad I've wanted this opportunity and this to become, a reality for me, and for it to finally be here is extremely gratifying. But there's so many people that have supported me throughout this process and have helped me get to this point, and I can't thank Coach Hedberg enough for this opportunity.
It was a big weekend for the Bison. Obviously, Gray got his name called even maybe earlier than some thought. You're now division rivals, the Seattle in the NFC West. You obviously in the AFC West. Tell me about did you have a chance to visit with him at all? I know it's been crazy on both ends, but him getting picked on Thursday night by the Seahawks.
We haven't talked over the phone yet. We've we've had some text messages exchanged, but it's super happy for him. Talk about a guy that really was in the same shoes that I was in as a freshman. We were roommates, and I just remember having conversations with him about, even if talking about if we can make it through NDSU, we can do anything, because we thought it was so hard at the time. And then to see him flourish and to become a first round pick is just a testament to his hard work and really devoting his craft to, football.
We're gonna throw up a photo I made today. This is from 2022. I'm gonna show you to you in the Zoom so you can see it. Of game at you guys are hosting Youngstown, and on the photo, I don't know if you could see it now, the entire offensive line, your tailback, and yourself are in the National Football League. What goes through your mind
So
seeing that?
just crazy. But the coaches at NDSU do such a great job, and this is what I've told every coach and every scout during my interviews. They always ask me, what's the difference between NDSU? Why are they so good? And I say, they bring in high character kids that are willing to work, and they're willing to put the program before itself. And I also brought up Coach Kramer. I think
Yeah.
he's really the backbone of the program, and just his accountability and never treating somebody differently because they're better. He treats a rookie the same way he treats a sixth year senior. So I just really think the recruiting process and then Coach Kramer himself and just the experience that our staff had bringing in guys like that. But yeah, that picture is crazy. Awesome.
Here I thought the one from the Montana State game the year prior when all the offensive line was in the NFL was wild. That one may top it.
I know. So crazy.
Two last things before I let you go. We were having McFeely and I were talking earlier because there's a strong chance the guy you were throwing to last year could be a first-round pick this time next year. You had a chance to throw to both Christian Watson and Bryce Lance. Are there similarities with those two guys?
I think so. And I think there's differences as well. I think you could say, the same thing about me and Easton. We're very similar, but different in certain ways. I think they're extremely talented playmakers, guys. You have to force feed the ball. They need the ball in their hands in order for our offense to be successful. But I think they both extremely, work hard. And I just think the difference between Bryce and Christian, I would say, is Christian created separation. Bryce had so many contested catches. And Bryce, I think when he puts everything together with his release and even details his craft a little bit more, I mean, he's going to be unreal this next year. And I'm so excited to see him. But I think they're very similar, both fast, physical, rangy, but Bryce has a very bright future.
Last thing before I let you go, and it's about the 2025 Bison, because I think every fan has asked me about Cole Payton's arm. We know what he can do with his legs. For Bison fans wondering about likely the new starting quarterback, what can you tell them about Cole Payton and his ability to throw?
I think he has tremendous ability to throw. I think Cole was somebody that pushed me when I was at NDSU, and we would go throw for throw every day. And I don't think there's going to be a drop off whatsoever. I think you look at Cole's had limited opportunities to throw the ball in a game, but there's one play that I think pops out to me, and that was against Illinois State when he got in at the end and drilled that ball in there to Joe Stoffel. I mean, that's what you're going to see game to game with Cole. Once he gets more practice reps, losing half a season last year might have set him back a little bit, but I think having this spring ball fall camp, he's going to be extremely sharp this season, and I wouldn't expect a drop off whatsoever.
It's great to see you, man. I know you're super busy. We really appreciate you carving some time out for us today. Congratulations. Please pass it along to your mom and dad for me, and be well. We'll catch up down the road, okay?
Sounds good, Dom. Thank you so much.
There he goes. Cam Miller, former North Dakota State quarterback, now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, drafted in the 6th round with the 215th pick by the Raiders on Saturday. Just a couple picks after Tommy Malot was selected by the Raiders with the 213th pick in the 6th round. Good stuff there. We're overdue for a break. We'll take one now, get caught up. Much more coming. Final 40 minutes of the show. Back on Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com right after this.